Aaron Glenn did his best apprentice impression. You're fired, Keith Carter. He's gone. Plus, the rest of the staff is coming together for the New York Jets with several hires now official and several people leaving the New York Jets. We've got all the details. Boy Green Daily starts now.
I'm going to lose my gosh darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
I made it clear that my intention was to play, and my intention was to play for the New York Jets.
You're fucking depressing.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcasts, baby. Boy, oh boy, do we got a lot to get to. The coaching staff is coming together after days of what the hell's going on over there. Just boom. Interviews, hirings, action all over the place. We'll catch you up on all of it here on the show. Make sure as you're entering the room here on YouTube, you like the video, hit subscribe. Also, shout out to the people that watch on our Facebook page, Heavy on Jets, my employer, and Twitter at BoyGreen25 as well. God bless everybody, and welcome to the program. Also, a special shout out to all of our audio-only listeners that refuse to look at my face. Again, I can't blame them. Anywho, let's give a shout out here to number one Austrian Jet fan gifting a membership right at the beginning of the show. Very nice. Let's pour one out. And that membership went to KJ. You were just gifted a Boy Green Coffee Club membership, which reminds everybody, let's flip the banner for all the memberships that we've been giving away here recently. That is now 249 memberships gifted this month by our number one Austrian Jets fan. He's number one in our contest. Jimmy Jets is number two at 135. Jeffrey R., who had an 80 spot on a single day. J-Boy 67. Floor Lily in Big D with 45. Big friggin' shout out there. And thank you so much for supporting the show. For people that are wondering what the hell is this contest all about, I'll give you another shout out because quite frankly, you're running out of time, people. You're running out of time. By the end of the month, we're going to be doing this giveaway. We've got today, which is the 30th. Tomorrow is the 31st. So on Saturday morning, February 1st, we will be drawing a winner from all the people that have been gifting memberships and entering the raffle tickets, which, by the way, are $2.99 a pop. And by the way, what are you competing for? Let me throw that up real quick on the big board here. And this is it. Boom. Nike Atmosphere, Aaron Rodgers, Heather Gray jersey. That's up for grabs. A $50 Boy Green merch shop gift card. And behind the number one Austrian Jet fan logo there is also a custom laser engraving package, which has merged Jets logos and logos of Boy Green. Boy Green Jets all together. It's absolutely freaking beautiful, baby. So shout out there. One lucky person who got raffle tickets will have a chance at that. So to get a raffle ticket, you just have to join the Boy Green Coffee Club. That's in the YouTube description down below. But keep track of it all month long. Or you can gift memberships. And there's no limit to how many raffle tickets you could get. Obviously, the more you have, the better your shot is of winning that prize. And we'll be giving something away every month. And boy, like I said, look behind me. We got some spectacular other gifts that'll be moving and grooving, baby, which I'm really excited about. Again, to give back to the fans. So, folks, we got some exciting stuff coming over the coming months. Also, we'll be doing giveaways for our free people, our subscribers that subscribe to the show. We'll be giving free stuff to you guys as well. Again, we just have to reach certain mile markers. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. I'm just going to be honest. And we were at 7,200 and change, somewhere in that ballpark. So we're another 200 away. But once we reach 7,500 subscribers, 8,000, 8,500, 9,000, we're going to be giving away all kinds of cool stuff. The thing we're giving away at 7,500 subscribers is a piece of autographed New York Jets memorabilia signed by two former New York Jets first-round picks. It'll be a nice little grab bag. Whoever that lucky subscriber is will draw at random, and I will send that right to your house, and you will have a wonderful surprise gift. So enjoy. Like I said, we want to give back to the fans. So just hit that subscribe button. That is free to do. You don't have to pay a dime for that sort of action. So there you are. Thank you, number one Austrian Jet fan, though, as well. Like the video, hit subscribe. So let's get into this Jet staff, baby. There's a lot going on here. Steve Wilks is the big fish to fall here. NFL Network insider Tom Pelissero confirmed that he is the hire for the New York Jets, the defensive coordinator position. Couple of nuggets here. First off, he had long been the favorite since the very beginning for the New York Jets. Jeremy Fowler, ESPN NFL insider, told me that this week. Connor Hughes said it a week ago that he was supposed to be the guy. And he is. Now, people, again, for those who don't know, who said, oh man, why didn't they just hire this guy last week? It's important to note that you have to go through the Rooney Rule process for the coordinator positions. You have to interview 2 external minority candidates for coordinators, and for singular positions, quarterback coach, things of that nature, you have to interview 1 external minority candidate. For those who don't know, that's how it works. Coordinators, 2. Head coach, 2. General manager, 2. Singular positions, quarterback coach, running backs coach, anything of that nature is only 1. So that's why the Jets had to go through their process. And look at that, baby. The key. The key is gifting memberships, baby, here on the channel. It's another raffle ticket for the key, baby. You absolutely love to see it. So let's put that on your docket. Excellent. That's a raffle ticket for the contest, baby. Why wouldn't you want to do it, baby? Why wouldn't you want to put that in there? So let's make sure I put that in there. Oh, it looks like the key. That's your first one this month. Okay, beautiful. I wanted to make sure I didn't miss that. So shout out to you, young man. That is one for you. The key. That is 1 raffle ticket, baby, for our contest this month. And by the way, that went to 3MC. You are now a member to the Boy Green Coffee Club. Hashtag pay it forward. I love it, baby. Yes, spread the love. Spread the love. A beautiful thing to do. Appreciate you. The key. God bless. All right, so we got Steve Wilks. Steve Wilks is in. I thought, just real quick, there was an important hire for Aaron Glenn. He's a first-time head coach. He's not going to be calling the defensive plays. He made that very clear in the introductory press conference. So getting a veteran guy was important. And I'm writing a story about all the coaching hoopla of this guy to try to catch up on everything. Steve Wilks has been a former NFL head coach for the Arizona Cardinals. He's been a former interim head coach at the Carolina Panthers. He's been a defensive coordinator in 4 separate stints in college, 3 separate stints in the NFL. The Jets are going to be his 4th opportunity as a defensive coordinator in the National Football League. So long story short, how I look at Steve Wilks is he's got a high floor, baby. You know what you're getting with Steve Wilks, which I think, like I said, is incredibly encouraging. I'll be excited to learn a little bit more about his defense, who are some people that could follow him. He took last year off from coaching. He was a volunteer advisor for the Charlotte 49ers, a college football team. So he took a year off. So I'll be kind of curious how rejuvenated he is when he comes in. So let's throw that one in there. Steve Wilks is a part of it. Let's make sure we say this. Keith Carter, bye-bye. He is gone. Keith Carter was fired. That's the first firing that Aaron Glenn has made. And Keith Carter gets tossed out the door. The offensive line coach and run game coordinator. Keith Carter was terrible. There were multiple complaints from current players on the team, like Mekhi Becton and Breece Hall. There's former players that came out during his tenure with the Jets and complained about him. Taylor Lewan, Patrick Ricard. A lot of players came out and said Keith Carter was not good. Hell, I had Tennessee Titans, sources down there in Tennessee that warned me the moment the Jets hired Keith Carter and said, dude, we just want to give you a warning and let you know he's got a militaristic style, rubs a lot of people the wrong way. A lot of people are not cool with his, his process, his methods. Rubbed a lot of people the wrong way in Tennessee. I was warned about that at the very beginning, and boy, that looked like it. And it certainly has been that case. So Keith Carter, goodbye. The vibes are back up at One Jets Drive, baby. So it's good to see. And look at this. We got Jakey here on the channel, baby. Every time we get a YouTube super chat member shout out of any kind, we hear from my beautiful daughters, Ryla. Wow. BG, the ultimate AM Jets content connoisseur. Yes. I will say, I love that I have that very specific niche category down flat. I don't know who else I'm competing with, but damn it, I'm number 1. all the time I tell my future mother-in-law, I said, "You're my favorite." She's like, "I'm your only mother-in-law." I'm like, "Yes, but still you're number one." Hmm? Not too shabby. Hey, I'll take that crown, baby. Thank you, Jakey. And by the way, folks, make sure you check out all the wonderful guests this week on the channel. We've had Jeremy Fowler, ESPN NFL Insider. We've had Lindsey Rhodes, formerly of the NFL Network. And, folks, I'll let you just know straight up. Later today, we're going to have Rich Cimini on the channel. He hasn't been on one of my video shows in 5+ years, so we're going to check off that bucket list. Rich Cimini will be joining us. I'll just let the cat out of the bag right now. So we've had Jeremy Fowler this week. We've had Lindsey Rhodes. We're going to have Rich Cimini and more. There's another surprise guest I don't want to reveal at this time, but just be ready for it. That also is dropping this week. So we have been absolutely rocked up, baby, on all the guests, and I hope you guys can enjoy that. Shout out to my father, who is in Abu Dhabi. Yeah, he's going international on us, so we'll have some Boy Green Daily episode, or Hop on Pop, rather, which is Boy Green Daily. We'll have some Hop on Pop episodes that'll be coming up as well. So, should be fascinating. June the GM says, I can't stand that dude, but that's a good dude to interview. Well, thank you, June the GM. I appreciate that. Yeah, Rich Cimini's I read like all of his articles, all of his columns. I've followed Rich for a long time. I've followed this team for a long time. I'm pretty sure Rich Cimini just wrapped up either year 36 or 37. I'll confirm that before we chat. But it's 36 or 37 on the beat covering the New York Jets. Absolutely friggin' salute. So he's the guy that's been around here the longest. He's got Bill Parcells knowledge and all this other stuff. Rich Cimini completely fascinates me as someone who's covered this team. All right, let's get some other things in there. But shout out to Jakey and everybody in the chat. We appreciate you. So Steve Wilkes, DC, locked in. Cha-chink. Keith Carter, out. Get your ass out of here, buddy boy. You are out. Let's go. We're going to kind of jump all over the place. Let's go. Chris Banjo. Last night, he's working on a deal to become the next special teams coordinator of the New York Jets. Chris Banjo, a fascinating dude. He was highly sought after here over this coaching cycle. He was an assistant special teams coach with the Denver Broncos. He was on that staff for 2 years. He played in the NFL for 10+ years. He was on the Arizona Cardinals. He was on the New Orleans Saints. He was on the Green Bay Packers. I mean, he's a long-time NFL player and a guy that a lot of people are buzzing about. So Chris Banjo is the new special teams coordinator. Goodbye, Brant Boyer, who goes to San Francisco with the 49ers to reunite with Robert Saleh. Chris Banjo is a very fun hire, and this one is an interesting little nugget. Rich Cimini shared this yesterday, and I tweeted this immediately. Here's this from Rich Cimini. Former Denver Broncos special teams coach Mike Westhoff is a Chris Banjo fan, and he gave a strong recommendation to the Jets about him. And this is Rich talking. Quote, I could see Westhoff making a cameo in Florham Park for minicamp, training camp, etc. Folks, I'm just going to lay it on the line. Obviously, Mike Westhoff is not going to be the full special teams coordinator. And that would have been crazy. He stepped away in November due to health reasons. But I would fully expect that we're going to see Mike Westhoff in a consultant role with the New York Jets. Again, obviously he's helping with recommendations for staff construction, but also I think in general he's going to be around this team, which I think is awesome. So major salute to AG, who obviously has a relationship with Westhoff with all of his connections with Sean Payton and the New Orleans Saints, where Westhoff had a gig in the late 2010s as well. So just awesome. Just so cool. So I'm glad Mike Westhoff's going to be around the team, so shout out to him. But Chris Banjo will be the special teams coordinator. And like I said, I expect Mike Westhoff to have a part of that staff as well. Again, not officially. Maybe it's official as a consultant, but I don't think anything crazy. By the way, the Jets lost a couple of coaches yesterday. I know who was this? Chef Kevin Gilbert. He didn't want any of these guys back, and they listened to Chef. He said, hell no to any of the guys. Tony Yoden, Aaron Whitecott, none of those guys. He didn't want any of them back, and none of them are coming back. Tony Yoden leaves. He goes to Tennessee. Aaron Whitecott, the Jets defensive line coach, he's going to the Dallas Cowboys and lining up with, reuniting with Carl Lawson, former Jet. Goes down there with the Cowboys. He is on Brian Schottenheimer's staff. Shotty. So Aaron Whitecott is gone. It sounds like the Jets are going to have no remnants of what lasted before in the coaching staff. And let's pour one out, people. Let's pour one out. I've seen you guys have been talking about it in the chat. Ron Middleton. Ron Middleton is no longer a part of this team. Shout out to Aaron Wilson, who shared that news yesterday. And that news is incredibly sad. I think we all really liked Ron Middleton. He was a fun coach to have on the staff here. Let's get some Ron Middleton memories. Let's get some Ron Middleton memories here. I was tweeting out a couple of clips. Here's Ron Middleton from the Senior Bowl. He got to serve as the head coach. Here's Ron Middleton.
If it moves, hit it. If it don't move, hit it. And if you're not sure, guess what? Hit it. Let's come out of this the most physical team on that field today, regardless. Let's win the hitting battle. You got me? Yes, sir. Touch somebody. Let's pray.
I love that. That's a great one here from old Ron Middleton. And here's the other one. This is one of my favorite quotes. This is a shortened version from One Jets Drive a while back. But this quote will live with me forever.
Everybody want to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die.
Everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. So salute to Ron Middleton, one of the fan favorite Jets coaches of all time. But if we're being honest, the tight end room has not been very good. Whether you want to blame that for Middleton or the pieces not stepping up. Shout out to Tyler Conklin, who's been productive in his own right. But Jeremy Ruckert's been awful. The Zach Kuntz project hasn't turned out to be anything. Kenny Yeboah's been Kenny Yeboah, this special teamer blocker guy. But yeah, our tight ends have not been good. So Ron Middleton, ultimately, that falls on Ron Middleton. But he's a guy that we all loved. So again, there was problems, as a number one Austrian Jet fan said, problems all over the place with the tight end position. But yeah, it's Taylor Sterling here. Like AG deserves to get his guys in, no holdovers. And that's my thing. Like, for instance, Aaron Whitecut's a good example. I like Aaron Whitecut. He's an aggressive guy. Obviously, he had that prior squabble with Quinnen Williams during that Bengals game, which sparked everything and them changing their rotations and things of that nature, all that kind of stuff. And obviously, from that perspective, there was some hiccups. But I think he's a good coach, but I agree with the point that Taylor Sterling just made. We need to start fresh. We need to have a new era of Jets football, and I think that's washing our hands of guys that were both bad, obviously, like Keith Carter. But I think also just in general, let's not leave any of the old regime, any of the old stink, scrub it clean, and let's start brand new. So with that being said, Aaron Whitecotton's gone. Keith Carter's gone. Tony Yoden's gone. Everyone's gone. We have not heard, by the way, any official announcement on Hackett, but he's going to be gone. Which leads us to the next hiring here that has not happened yet officially. That, of course, is Tanner Engstrand, as the offensive coordinator. Now, that's unofficial as far as anything I've seen live right here on the show. However, when you look at the staff that's getting constructed, it yells Tanner Engstrand all over it. For instance, the Jets requested to interview David Blau. Now, I remember him because on a random Thanksgiving game, he had to step in for the Detroit Lions and play in there. He only played 5 seasons in the NFL. 4 of his 5 seasons were spent with the Lions. And he just got into coaching last year. He's only 29. He's a young guy. But he was the assistant quarterback coach with the Washington Commanders last year. And hell, if they can bottle up anything from Washington land and bring it over here after the Jane Daniels season, God bless. Let's go. David Blau crossed over with Aaron Glenn. David Blau crossed over with Tanner Engstrand. Again, swapping out the offensive line coach. We have a new line coach, for the New York Jets. That's the Lions tight end coach. Formerly the Lions tight end coach. That is Steve Hayden. Steve Hayden is the new O-line coach. He replaces Keith Carter. And Steve Hayden is 48 years old. I'll give you a little details because the offensive line coach hire was very big. He's a big dude. He's 6'5", 275 pounds. He played in the NFL for a decade with the then San Diego Chargers and Cleveland Browns. Okay. Talented guy, no question about it. A former third-round pick. He's been coaching in the league since 2013. He was an assistant special teams and assistant tight ends coach from 2013 to 2017. Then he got to it as an assistant O-line coach with the Cardinals in 2018. Then he moved over full-time to tight ends coach 2019 to 2022. Tight ends coach for the Lions. Now back to the offensive line where he had a prior stint in the past. And nice little career there in the NFL. 200 catches, 1,600 yards, 14 tutties. Not bad. Not bad. So shout out to Steve Hyden. He is now tasked with trying to see if he can turn this offensive line around. And so there you have it. And yes, Austrian, he's not a first timer in terms of coaching, but full-time offensive line coach. This is his first stint. Yeah, exactly. June the GM, played in the league for a decade. Very nice. There you are. And yes, they did get rid of the assistant O-line coach as well, Rod. That was a direct guy to Keith Carter, so that makes sense. And yes, James Fowles, you're displaying it proudly. In case you missed it earlier this week, released a new emoji. It's the Darren, emoji. So let that fly. If you're a member to the Boy Green Coffee Club, let's see that brand new emoji that's available for all the Boy Green Coffee Club members. The new general manager that will lead us to the promised land. Hey now. Give a shout out, pour one out for emoji. And shout out to you, James. You're the reason I've heard a lot of people bring it up, but you were the one that brought it up the most. Making sure we got that new emoji out there. So salute to you, pal. I'll make sure I got everybody here. So obviously, yep, Ron Middleton's gone. We've mentioned that. The Jets are requesting to interview David Blau. He would be their quarterback coach. I didn't mention that. He's an assistant quarterback coach with Washington. The Jets would be offering him a promotion of quarterback coach if he were to take that job again. Incredibly young guy, only been coaching for a year. But shoot, if he had any part of that success with Jane Daniels, if he was responsible for any of it, come on down, David Blau. Again, I just remember him stepping in randomly for a thing for the Detroit Lions. He had a very unremarkable NFL career, but like I said, young guy, and it seems to be a hot rising coaching assistant. So looks. Dick Chimney's Burner said the banner made it look like F-Muji. Sorry. Yeah. Just try to visualize it in your mind of emoji instead of F-Muji. F him. Yeah. But different strokes, different folks. I appreciate the honesty. June the GM here. H.E. cleaning house like he should get the stench of losing out of the building. Exactly. So again, even if there's good coaches there, and there's some good coaches that were let go yesterday, but it's part of it as well. Our number Austrian Jet fan with a super chat here.
Wow.
He said the Aaron Glenn emoji should be next. Interesting thought. Perhaps that's where we'll go. Instead of giving it to one of you animals, we'll give it to him. That would make a lot of sense. By the way, with another one of these super chats here, combined with your prior super chats, number one Austrian Jet fan, you're now at 250 memberships gifted so far this cycle. So let's update the banner. Good Lord. I think number one Austrian Jet fan might be in a great position here to win the Nike Atmosphere Aaron Rodgers jersey, the $50 Boy Green merch shop gift card, and so much more. Love giving back to the fans. Shout out to you, number one Austrian Jet fan, baby. Thank you for the super chat and thus the extra membership for every $2.99 you spend here on the channel. Booyah. Let me see what Jared B just said. Yeah. That's sort of funny, right? David Blau telling Aaron Rodgers what he's doing wrong, right? David Blau, who has, like, in his career, 6 passing touchdowns to 9 interceptions, says, hey, Aaron, yeah, can you give me a little bit more of this? And he, like, looks at him like, what? Yeah, that's true. It's kind of like people say all the time for, like, analysts, right? If you didn't play, you can't say shit. And, that's silly. I think people that have played the game have a special... whatever you want to call it, a deeper appreciation, maybe some different kinds of knowledge of the experience of wearing the helmet. Like I played high school football and I enjoyed the hell out of it. I would have loved to play college and the pros and everything else, but obviously the gods said it wasn't in the cards. So I said, okay, I'll talk about football, be around football. That's the next best closest thing. And there's an appreciation for playing, but I can't help if Rodgers had to take, like, who the hell are you, buddy? And like he was in the NFC North while Rodgers is winning MVPs, Blau is holding a clipboard. So maybe his mind is greater than his body would allow. That's what we got to hope, I guess. But pour one out, David Blau. But anywho, all of these little nuggets of David Blau, the tight ends coach Steve Hyden becoming the O-line coach, they're all these Lion guys. And the only rational explanation is that Tanner Engstrand is going to be the Jets guy. He's expected to be the guy because the staff around him looks very Lionsy. And then he could come in. He would, I would assume, be having influence on the staff. I don't know what the holdup is why he hasn't been named the OC yet, but he seems like the favorite to be so, by all accounts. We'll see as soon as that one comes in. And if it does, let me pull back up Tanner, because Tanner has been, if I remember correctly, an OC at lower levels. He just hasn't been an OC at the NFL level, and that is correct. So he's an offensive coordinator in college. That was for San Diego. From 2011 to 2017, he was an offensive coordinator along with other roles. He was an offensive coordinator in the now defunct XFL, which is now the UFL, the DC Defenders. He was the defensive coordinator of DC of DC. And then at the NFL level, he's been with the Lions since 2020. He's been in a variety of offensive assistant roles, passing game coordinator, tight ends coach, things of that nature. But he's not been an OC at this level. So it does go to show what Jeremy Fowler told us a couple days ago here on the show, that Aaron Glenn is looking for a high upside guy as opposed to a Steve Wilkes guy, which is fascinating. Steve Wilkes has been a DC before. He's been a head coach before, so like a lot of experience. Tanner Engstrand on the other side has experience as an OC, but not at this level. So it's curious that that's the waters AG is swimming in. And if that proves true, that Tanner ends up being the guy, he's the favorite, fully expected to be the guy. But it's not in pen and paper. And we've all seen plenty of stuff in the past where it's not on pen and paper and then things go in a different direction. But it'll be important for AG to add veteran guys to the staff. A rumored name I've heard is Todd Haley as a guy that'd be on the staff. He's also been a former head coach. He's been an offensive coordinator before. So him being in the room, I think, would be important for Tanner. But we'll see what other guys come in there as well. So long story short, a lot of nuggets. New DC, new O-line coach, new special teams coach, and the rest of the staff obviously is going to continue to be filled out as well. So salute to AG. He's getting it done. He's getting attractive names. Now, it doesn't mean anything. I go back all the time and think about that Carolina Panthers staff with Frank Reich a couple of years ago was a superstar staff. That guy's like Deuce Staley on it. So many, Josh McCown, I think, was on that staff. Like, they had a million guys where you're like, whoa. And the Panthers pounded their chest with saying, hey, we have like the deepest pockets for coaches and assistant coaches in the National Football League. Like, they put this superstar staff together and it didn't work. So just because you have a superstar staff does not guarantee success. So we'll see what happens. But that part of it is incredibly fascinating to me. All right, let's do this, baby. Let's take a timeout. We'll open up the phone line so all you guys will react to all the coaching staffs. A couple of nuggets here. First off, to the 600 people in the room, God bless. Like the video, hit subscribe. At 3 o'clock today, we're going to have my buddy, Phil Milani. He used to work for the Denver Broncos for a long time. He has interviewed Darren Muji multiple times. And Jet fans, we didn't get to see a whole heck of a lot of Muji during the introductory press conference. What are we getting from Muji? A guy that's spoken with him several times will be able to give us unique insight into that. That's coming up at 3 o'clock. Boy Green meets Woody. It'll be myself. It'll be James Woody. It'll be Phil Milani, Denver Broncos insider. I'm looking forward to diving in on Muji and giving you guys some more intel. Again, we're going to be having Rich Cimini on the show. That likely is going to be a special episode for at some point this evening. So just kind of keep an eye out for it. I don't think we're going to do that tomorrow morning. I think we're going to do it at some point this evening. So keep an eye out for that interview, which could pop up, at any time. So Rich Cimini, we had Jeremy Fowler this week, Lindsey Rhodes, we're popping, baby. And now it's time to open up the phone lines back to the fans, baby. And we'll do that here in just a moment on Boy Green Daily. Hep, hit it.
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Talking just football, man. Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. The New York Jets Football Club. Wow. Offense, defense, special teams. Watch the Super Bowl season with Boy Green. Jets, Jets. Boy Green Daily.
There he is, Hep, the legend himself. Phone lines are now open. That's open on youtube.com/boygreen25. Feel free to call into the show. Get your participation trophy for the day, people. You can call in and talk about any of the crazy, rumors on the coaching staff, and I'll pour this one out for Cup of Philly Noodles. I have no idea if he's going to call into the show, but he's been asking for this. And for people who don't know, I am a near. I have to say near because my ACL exploded in the middle of my 4th degree black belt test. I'm at the doorstep of my 4th degree black belt in Taekwondo. Here is just a highlight video of some of my board breaks that's happened recently.
Okay.
Boom shakalaka. That gets me fired up. That nice back spin kick technique. One of my favorites is the over-the-top ridge hand. You can get a lot of torque on the body and just really rip into the intensity of it. That's always a good one. And then I saw, like Roman Reigns doing like the Superman punch. So I try to do it off chairs and other props and things of that nature. So I used to have this book of creative different board breaks and trying to test boundaries and stuff of crazy stuff to do. So shout out to Cup of Philly Noodles. He's been asking for that for some time. So there you are. I'll be getting back to Taekwondo soon to finish off getting that 4th degree black belt and going everywhere else in between. That'll be fun. Jake asked, who's that helmet signed by in the back? I'm glad you asked that, Jake. This helmet right here. This helmet is signed by the New York Sack Exchange, baby. The entire New York Sack Exchange. God rest the soul of Abdul Salam, who is no longer with us. See, we got Mark Gastineau right there, baby. Right there. See where my hand is? We got Mark Gastineau, okay. Got Abdul Salam right here. Again, the soldier of peace. Let's see. We got Joe Klecko, that beautiful signature up there at the top. And then obviously you see Marty Lyons right there. And the only reason I have this helmet, shout out to someone who listens to my radio show. Put that back up there for a second. Someone who listens to my radio show, I'll give him a shout out, Josh. He told me that this local memorabilia card trading, memorabilia everything shop was doing one of those like raffle giveaways where that helmet right here, that helmet was up for auction and tickets were $20 a pop, and they were going to take like 13 or 15 tickets or something, and you could buy as many as you want, but they're going to draw a random name and then you win that prize. And I said, oh, that's cool. And he said, why don't you enter? And I'm like, I don't really do that sort of stuff, but sure. And I put $20 in. Guess what? This lucky bastard who wins everything won it for $20, and they shipped it to me. And it's one of my most prized possessions. It's amazing. You're also going to see in the near future, you see this back empty wall here. I've got a lot of jerseys I want to frame. Another one that's really in my collection is I met Santonio Holmes back in the day in Cortland when my dad took me to the Cortland practices. We're walking to the car like it's over. The practice is over. In theory, you got all the autographs you're going to get. And I'm walking, and I look beside me. I'm like, holy shit, that's Santonio Holmes. Me and him were walking. No one else was around. Remember, folks, this is the Super Bowl MVP. This is the superstar receiver they just traded for. I'm like, holy freaking crap, it's me and Santonio here. And I'm wearing Santonio Holmes' jersey, and I rip it off my back. I'm like, Santonio, can you sign this? Like, sure. And he talked to me for like 5 minutes, signed the jersey. It was one of the coolest experiences of my life. I'm like, holy freaking crap. That was amazing. So I have that one. And I got some other like memorabilia I want to display, but this one for sure is shout out to Josh. That's the only reason I have that is a $20 random raffle ticket got me a Jet helmet, which we came back to this logo. Thank God, it's beautiful, and then signed by the entire New York Sack Exchange. Cool, super cool, man, super cool. So shout out to Josh wherever you are. I love that. BG, Happy Hands of Death. I like that. Boy Green, it looks like a little stick of dynamite. I like that. Small in size, mighty at impact, Light feet. Got to be quick. I appreciate that. Thank you, Jason Weber. All right. Nani is still shaking. Again, I've invited Nani on the show, but he has not accepted. Not accepted. All right, let's go into the phone lines here. We got Hep here on the show. What's up, Hep?
Hey, Paul. I was thinking, who do you think maybe some of the free agents that might come in? I heard rumors about Khalil Mack coming over.
Ooh, wow. I've not heard that one, but that sounds fun. I know Mac wants to play another year. That's free agency. I looked at some of the Lions guys. There seems to be plenty of guys that would be swinging over. They've got defensive linemen, veterans. They don't have like an Aiden Hutchinson or anything that's about to
No.
shake free, but Khalil Mack would be fun. Sure. I'd be curious to see what's going to be the marriage of scheme. Again, our Russell Brown, who joined us on Monday, he's a Lions guy. He says, like, he told us Jet fans, like, hey, don't get so attached to 3-4-4-3. He's like, it's
Right.
a new age NFL. We shouldn't really worry about that. But I will be kind of curious. Steve Wilkes marrying to AG and what they're going to produce on a game-to-game basis, which will then open up, to your point, like Khalil Max. Do we need this third linebacker? Is CJ Mosley going to retire? So is it Quincy and another guy? Does
Right.
Jamian come back? So we
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
lot of questions there. But Khalil Mack, that'd be super fun. I like that.
Yeah. Well, I am worried about JJ coming off that Achilles,
Mm.
It's just one of those injuries that just seems to linger for a while, It seems like a 2-year injury. That's why I think Rodgers will be a lot better this year. But we'll see what happens. Anyway, peace out, guys.
All right, love the call, Hep. Thank you. Let me see if I can find this real quick, because I definitely did a thing on this. Let's go. Lions free agents. I know I tweeted this. Let's see if the internet will work with me here. Let's see if I can find it. I would just, I guess, have to countlessly scroll. Maybe I can find it. But long story short, I put out a tweet of all the Lions free agents and whether or not potentially some of them could come over to the Jets. I guess the easier thing is just Lions free agents 2025. Obviously, Khalil Mack to Hep's point was not a Detroit Lion per se. So maybe there could just be general guys that come over that are really talented free agents. Let me go just NFL free agent list. I don't remember looking at a lot of the I should just pull that up on ESPN. They have the top 50 there. So let's do that real quick. We'll do all this live here on the show. Let's go. They just dropped the top 50 list. Here it is. Top 50 free agents available. By the way, Jamie Sherwood, salute Jimmy, was 37 on the list. All right, so we got T. Higgins. That's not going to happen. Trey Smith, we're good at guard. Ronnie Stanley at offensive tackle. He's a left tackle. DJ Reed, he's going to be gone. Chris Godwin, depending on what happens with all the Devontae Adams stuff, he'd be kind of interesting. We have Khalil Mack on here. Charvarius Ward would be interesting. I don't know if the Jets are going to go that heavy because they got to pay Sauce. They already paid Michael Carter II. I'd be curious if they spend that kind of moolah. Josh Sweat, he's interesting. Oh, here's one I like. Osa Adigizua of the Dallas Cowboys, and a fun name to say. He would be a lot of fun. Versatile, pass rush ability. He'd be a lot of fun stealing him from the Dallas Cowboys. If we're looking at safeties, Javon Holland, he's the safety of the Miami Dolphins. He's the guy that returned the Hail Mary pick six against us. So thanks, jerk. Zach Bond is in the Defensive Player of the Year running. You have this amazing year with the Eagles. He's a scheme guy. You got Trayvon Morig. He's a safety with the Raiders. These are just the top guys that are available. Dre Greenlaw's a free agent, but health obviously is a question there. Milton Williams is a big fat guy from the Eagles. Hassan Reddick, burn in hell. Okay, let's keep going down their list. Byron Murphy Jr., the corner from the Vikings. He's probably going to get paid a lot of money. You got Hufanga, the safety from the 49ers. He's a talented guy. He'll be 25 when the season starts. Here's a Lion, Carlton Davis III, corner. That could make some sense as a veteran guy. Now, the Chiefs are probably going to franchise tag this guy, but if he's really available, Nick Bolton, I'd want some Nick Bolton action. Now, I'd expect them to get an extension done, so I don't know if he'll really be available, but Nick Bolton would be a fun guy. I got Malcolm Kuntz, a Raiders pass rusher. Cameron Bynum, the safety from the Vikings. He makes a lot of sense, sure. You got Asante Samuel Jr. He's a corner available. I'm just scrolling through to see if there's any other names I'm missing here. Obviously, you got Jamie Sherwood. He's going to be out there. Chase Young is a talented guy. Might take a 1-year deal. He may be all about that life. Justin Reed is safety with the Chiefs. Paulson Adebo, corner from the Saints. Ernest Jones, the fourth. He's a linebacker from Seattle. What started the season on Tennessee. Yeah, so there's a handful of guys. Yeah, I think the Jets could be swimming in some big waters. Yeah, there's certainly that possibility. All right, let's jump back to the phone lines. We got Ricky New York here on the program. What's up, Ricky?
Hey, how's it going, Paul?
Hey, not too shabby.
There's definitely, some free agents out there. It there's also a reason I think that some of them are becoming free agents. Nick Bolton's
That's also true.
Awesome player. Missed a few games with injury. Chris Godwin, awesome, but been beat up the last few years.
That's a good point.
Hell, Chiefs going back to the Super Bowl. Like I said, I would take Derek Nottie, their defensive tackle, plug him in next to Quinnen, let him free Quinnen up like he does Chris Jones. Good against the run. Jeremy Chin, safety, could be
you've mentioned him. You've mentioned him. He would make a lot of sense. I see Alan is talking about my Syracuse boy, Ifitu Melifonwu, the younger brother of Obi, who was the athletic freak out of UConn a couple years ago. He's a Lions free agent. Here are other Lions free agents. Marcus Davenport, he's a former first rounder of the Saints. They traded up to get him. He's super talented. Kevin Zeitler on the offensive side, but the Jets are pretty stacked at guard, so that probably won't be. Levi Onoruzuki, he's the defensive lineman. Yeah, there's a couple of guys from the Lions and overall, but yeah, I'll give a big shout out to my Syracuse boy.
There's a few guys. Now, Asante Samuel Jr., that's a name that's, kind of intriguing to me. And that might be worth maybe taking a look at. But yeah, I'm excited for the staff to get filled out, and so we're going to bring in Banjo as the special teams coordinator.
That's right. Yeah, they're working on that deal. Yep.
And you know what? For whatever reason, I was thinking about it last night when I was at work.
Sure.
And a lot of these guys, if they want to see the field, their path to getting on the field is to make an impact on special teams first.
Yeah.
Well, why do they call it special teams? Do you know?
It's a good question. I never thought about
it. You know what?
I played on special teams, but yeah.
If you break a big return, if the other team's returning it and you knock the ball out and get the ball, that's pretty friggin' special.
Yeah.
And these guys, they're not out there getting 80 snaps a game like some people are. They're getting maybe a dozen snaps a game at best. So if you can make a play that literally flips the game and flips the momentum and that maybe dozen snaps that you might get, pretty special.
Hey, by the way, this is what the internet says. In American football, excuse me, in American football, special teams is called special teams because it refers to a dedicated group of players who only take the field during specific situations like kickoffs, punts, and field goal attempts. They are considered special plays separate from standard offensive and defensive plays. Essentially, they're a specialized unit with unique roles within the game.
Well, there you go. There's the textbook definition. Like I said, I just kind of made my own up as I was thinking about it last night.
Yeah.
But I'll have to tweet it to you. But Rob V had asked me, we signed Pokey Wilson a week or so ago. Ontario Wilson is his correct name,
of course.
Which I don't know how he got the name Pokey because he runs a 4.3. He's not pokey at all. But at any rate, Rob said, he was up there in Canada playing. He was on the Chargers practice squad, but then went to Canada where he could play all the time. And Rob asked me, he was like, was he any good in Canada? And I looked it up. It was like 800 yards. I forget how many
decent numbers. Yeah.
But I found a highlight, or I didn't find it. YouTube found it for me. One of his games last year, 201 yards and a touchdown. And
wow.
Man, he was lighting it up. And just some of those catches that he was making, All I can think is goodbye, Xavier Gibson.
Oh
You
my
know,
God. Yeah.
because he can return punts and kicks too, and was a teammate of Jermaine's. I mean, I know the
And Jordan
coach.
Travis, right there on your shirt. Yeah.
Yes, yes, my guy.
Oh, that's a
Yes,
great shirt.
I got in the Jets uniform too, not
Uh,
the Seminoles
yeah,
one.
autographed and everything. That's sweet. Yeah, I like that. That looks
Yeah,
nice.
and yeah, where the hell did it go? And and I got the J Trav hat
Oh
to match
wow, I didn't even know
in
they
the
had
Jets
that. Wow, of
in
course.
the
Yeah,
Jets
look at you. You're all
uniform.
geared up. You're always
Yeah,
geared up.
you know what? T Public's got a couple of good things. I got that. You know, I got my Williams Brothers T-shirt there too.
Very
So,
nice. Yep,
you know me. I love buying the gear,
of
but
course. Yeah.
man, I cannot wait. I cannot wait for this year to get rolling and for this whole thing to turn around. And you know, it'd be great when you have Samini on. You'll have to ask him. So, how was it getting shut down by our coach on day one
Oh my God,
with those
that's going to
tricky
be a very interesting part of the
questions?
conversation, I imagine.
Yeah, you know what? That was awesome. That when he was like, you know what? I'm wise to your tricks. This isn't my first rodeo in New York, and I'm not having that. And you know, I'm just sitting back and going, Connor Hughes, I see your future. You know,
Yeah, I just put that in my notes for the Rich Samini conversation later today. I'll make sure I get that in for sure.
right? At any rate, I like the no nonsense, you know, attitude that he brings. But you know,
Hmm.
he's the thing is like he's not a jerk. He's not like a hard ass. He just doesn't put up with any BS. And I think that's exactly what we need. He'll hold guys accountable, but not only holding guys accountable, but you know, I can just picture Sala trying to like inspire guys to do better, and he's probably whip out one of his cheesy quotes from I imagine he probably got at Christmas time he got one of those calendars like a clever saying for every day of the year,
And then
like
just work them in. Yeah,
yeah,
no doubt about
it kind of really seemed like that at times for sure. Uh, but the fact that Glenn was a former player and did it at such a high level himself, I think will give him almost instant respect with our
it. No doubt
squad.
about it.
And
No
so
doubt about it.
looking forward to it. I got to get. I'm gonna let you go and get to some other callers because I've got Shrine Bowl and Senior Bowl
Oh,
work to do myself. But
okay.
dude,
Well, keep us
CJ
posted,
West,
Ricky. Yeah.
defensive tackle from Indiana, which Indiana was one of the best in the was the best in the country against the run apparently. And this
Yeah.
guy, they're talking, fourth round pick, fifth round pick. But from what I've heard from people that are there, everybody's like, what really shocked us was his arsenal of pass rush moves. Like we had
Hmm.
no idea that he had so many different moves. So that's he could probably be creeping up some boards, but that's an intriguing player to me, and I
Well,
can't wait,
keep doing your work, Ricky. Keep doing your scouting work. We're here. We're looking forward to hearing all your notes and quotes. So keep getting all the. Again, we got the Shrine Bowl going on right now. We got the Senior Bowl going on right now. So keep sharing all your notes. We also have Dom C out there. I see he's been interviewing prospects left and right. We'll catch up with him at least on Monday. Maybe we'll have another show squeezed in somewhere in here at some point with him live from the Senior Bowl. Like I said, we'll keep an eye out for all of that. But salute there. A couple of quick comments, and we'll get back to the phone lines. Austrian Jet fan said was talking about the rumor that we trade for Chris Olave. I heard that. I don't know where it originated from because then it's the phone game of like someone put it out in the universe and then it's been before it's gotten to me. But I did see. I'm sure Garrett Wilson would be a fan of it. That was his Ohio State teammate. The Saints don't have a head coach yet, so we'll see what happens. I'd imagine I want to build around him. And the thing for those who don't know about Chris Olave is that he's had a lot of concussion problems, really, really bad concussion problems. So um, they've got a lot of stuff they're dealing with. They got a lot of stuff they're dealing with out there, or he is specifically in the Saints in general. Kellen Moore is likely the favorite to become the next head coach of the New Orleans Saints, but nothing official as far as I've seen on any of that jazz. So interesting to say the least. There's no question about it. All right, let's see. I'll make sure there's no more super chats or anything. All right, thank you. And no worries, Ricky, on the voice. Apologies. No apologies necessary for the voice. It's sick as a dog, but you're doing God's work with all your tape study and everything else for Shrine Bowl, Senior Bowl. We appreciate that. Good, sir. We got 800 people in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe, baby. That's a free way to contribute. And like I said, for all our free subscribers, you guys are going to get an opportunity to win some cool New York Jets memorabilia autographed by 2 former New York Jets first round picks. As soon as we get to 7,500 subscribers, we're only like 200 people away, people. So make sure you share out the link and let's get to 7,500 as quick as possible. As soon as we do, I'll be giving it out, baby. I'm ready to give some stuff back to the fans. Let's go to the phone lines. We got June, the GM, here on the show. He back.
Hey, what's going on, Paul? So yesterday, I find myself wanting to go through the rabbit hole of pain. So I saw a mini documentary for all you Jet fans. You have to watch it. This is called The Talk of the Town. It's based on the 1981 New York Jets when we had the sack exchange. Gastineau 20 sacks, Klecko 20.5 sacks.
Unbelievable.
Quarterback Richard Todd. And I'm not going to tell you the ending. Guys, watch it. It's the best 20 minutes you probably will see. But at the end, so much pain. And I said, that's why I'm a Jet fan. I'm addicted to the pain. I realized that. Us Jet fans, for some odd reason, are addicted to pain. That's what
true.
it is.
We're gluttons for punishment. There's no question about it. Look at the Jets' history, and we're all still here. We've all got a weird kink. There's no question. Yeah.
But I think that my favorite part of the Aaron Glenn press conference was definitely when he told them, that's Bill Parcells, I'm Aaron Glenn. Like, chill out. Don't try to compare. I'm a new man. This is who I am. I think he's built for it. And you have to have that type of, you have to have that type of demeanor. I agree he's not a jerk, but he's also he's a disciplinarian. He's a man you're going to be.
He's very direct. Right. That's how I would put it. I don't know if I call him to your point. Right? Yeah, he's just very straight. Yeah,
you have to be though. I mean, show me a coach who's ever been great in this league who didn't have a little edge on him. It doesn't exist since the days of Bill Walsh and Jimmy Johnson. All them guys, they wasn't super friendly guys. They were good men, but they demanded respect. I love the coaching staff. Wilkes, I think more from not even the defensive aspect of it, but more from the mentoring aspect of it. Now Aaron Glenn has somebody that he can lean on when times are tough, because times will get tough during the season. I have questions. Now he has that liaison. He can be, hey, listen, I need some help. How do I handle this? Interesting. When we first started, looking for the OC, right? One day I researched that kid Tanner, right? And I don't know why. Look, if I told you I knew about Tanner before this OC, sir, I'll be lying. I never heard of the guy in my life. But when I looked at him, something about him, I said, I like this guy's resume. I think this guy could do something. Fast forward, now they're about to hire him. Look, it's a risk, right? But Al Pacino is the best. Al Pacino says it's a risk, not taking risk.
Okay, I like that quote. I never heard of that. But I like that quote.
So a lot of the times when a coach becomes a great coach, it's a risk. That it's always like that. Most of the coaches that have made great strides in this league have been coaches nobody heard of. I think Aaron Glenn's putting together a good staff. I have confidence in him. And if it's one last thing I want to say, I know everybody's throwing out crazy draft names. We know it's early with that, but the draft. But that kid on Warren from Penn State. Let me tell you something. He gives me that Mark Bavaro, that Gronkowski, that Shockey, that I catch the ball and I'm looking for you. I want you to tackle me because I'm going to run through your chest. He got good hands. He's fast enough. And it's been a long time since I haven't been excited about a tight end since Dustin Keller. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. It's a long time ago. That's 15 years ago.
We could probably trade back, get another second round and get him 10 to 12. But I think that would be a good direction because I think we need we got the tight end coach from Detroit. They utilize the tight end down there.
Yeah.
So I think
that's true. Yeah. Sam Laporta. Yeah.
And I want to ask you a question.
Yeah, shoot.
how do you feel about Tanner as the OC? Is there anybody else that you wanted us to really consider? Are you comfortable with it? What are you thinking?
The waters that AG is choosing to swim in is inexperience, relatively speaking. So, like, for instance, Nick Caley apparently was a top guy for AG. Nick Caley has never been an offensive coordinator at any level in his entire life. That doesn't mean he can't do it. A man hasn't gotten an opportunity to do the job, perhaps, but he's never been an OC before. But he's around a lot of smart offensive minds. That's sort of interesting to me. We go to Tanner, the boy you just brought up. He has been a offensive coordinator for 6-7 years in college at San Diego. He did it for a random year in the, again, defunct XFL, now UFL. He had a random year of it there, but he's never done it at the NFL level. So obviously, again, to the Al Pacino quote, there's a lot of risk here no matter what. I figured my gut would say that he was just going to get a Steve Wilkes offensive, Todd Haley, I get whoever, like just someone that's tried and true, a veteran. He's been around the block forever. It's fascinating to me that he's going this direction of young upside. And I assume, because we haven't heard a lot of rumors around the support staff of whoever would be for Tanner outside of all the Lions people, is he going to bring in a Steve Wilkes, a senior personnel guy, a senior offensive guy to be around him to give him some, another, voice to bounce things off of in that perspective. So I would have leaned at the beginning of all this. You say, Paul, AG's been hired. Woohoo, great. And then we're all openly in a room talking about the staff. I would have said, okay, let's go get the biggest veteran offensive name that's been there, done that. Let's get like a Norv Turner, but someone who's still doing it. Like he's been retired in a consultant role, but someone like that that's in the
Todd
I don't know,
Haley.
their 50,
Todd Haley.
Todd Haley, exactly. Someone who's in their 50s, 60s saying, boom, we just know this guy is rock solid. Let's get him. And that's where I would have been in the room. And then apparently AG would have said, nah, man, I want to go for this. And I'm like, okay, well, shit, you want to know something, AG? You do whatever the hell you want to do it. And I'm going to believe anyway. I'm going to say, I'm going to trust you to pick what's right. So to me, like I said, I would have went more veteran offensive name personally. It sounds like we're going to go Tanner Engstrand, who, again, at least has done the job before, just not at this level, which is an interesting way to do it. Hey, upside, that Darren Mucci's 39. You want upside there, upside here? I'm all for upside. So tip
Well,
the
he's
cap
definitely
to
doing it his way,
AG.
right? We can say
Exactly.
that. He's definitely doing it his way. And I respect the fact that if you're going to fail doing it your way. I don't expect him to fail, but you have to do it your way when you become
Die
a
on your
head
own
coach.
sword. Right. Don't
That's
do it
it.
because other people, right? Like some boob like me, I'm saying, oh, you should probably get a veteran guy. And he goes, oh, yeah, Boy Green, you're probably right. Let's go with a veteran guy. And then it fails. Guess what? What happens to me? Nothing. I can
Right.
just say any opinion I wanted. It just, who gives a shit? No one holds me accountable. But AG, you hire a guy and it sucks, you get fired. So, hey, man, die on your own sword. Pick your people and then go to war, Balake, and go to war and like let's go. I think that's
agree.
again, amen.
And I love the fact that he fired, I don't like people getting fired, but you know what I'm
Of course.
saying, that get the old baggage, that stench, that nasty smell of Loserville out the building. Let's
100%.
It's nice you were a good coach, that's great, but you got to go too. Like bring in a whole fresh new aura, new energy, inject the building with hope, because if it's one thing we lack, even fans, when you read the comments, we have lost the hope. And I pray to God that, with these moves, with a good solid draft, that going into the season, we can forget all the pain of the past and, God willing, make at least a wild card this year. That's my hope.
Blessed be he, June. I appreciate the call, brother. Thank you for calling into the program and all the support. Appreciate all the memberships and everything you've gifted this month. It's meant a lot. So, again, we'll be giving that away. The contest will run through. Today is January 30th. Tomorrow's the 31st. At midnight tomorrow, the box offices are closed, and we will draw someone new coming up on Saturday morning. So shout out to all you guys that have been in the contest so far. We will do that live in front of all you, and you guys will see who comes in. Again, we've got another show coming up at 3 o'clock. Phil Milani, Darren Mucci, and we're going to do that Rich Cimini interview live at a later point today. Could be 4, 5, 6, somewhere in that ballpark. So just be at the ready for whenever that interview is going to pop. I'm working with Rich Cimini there. It's probably going to be 4, but we'll have that out hopefully shortly so you guys can see that. Well, thanks to the 800 people in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe. Again, we'll be back on at 3 o'clock, and then we'll be back on at 4 o'clock. The interviews just keep popping here on Boy Green Daily. Like the video, hit subscribe. Let's bleepin' go. We'll see you guys in a bit. Thanks for joining us here on Boy